right now we want to give you some reaction from some local officials as well as state elected officials and also federal officials. This is Congresswoman Julie Johnson. She says, quote, "My office is monitoring the tragic shooting this morning at Dallas's ICE facility. Elected leaders and government officials must rely on verified facts from law enforcement, not speculation that fuels fear or division. My thoughts are with the victims and their families."
We've heard from a number of officials this morning, both local and state and federal too, as well, all speaking out against the violence that has happened at this particular Dallas ICE facility this morning, obviously condemning any violence at all, saying that it is deeply unnecessary and that this is deeply saddening too as well.
Julie Johnson, she represents the 32nd District of Texas, a portion of North Texas as well, but specifically she would be the counterpart to Senator John Cornyn and some other, Senator Ted Cruz. We've also heard from them this morning. I don't know if we can pull up their statements that they posted on X as well, but Senator Ted Cruz addressing the violence this morning, as well as some other officials from Texas. Here's Senator Ted Cruz. Quote, "My team and I are closely monitoring the situation at the ICE detention facility in Dallas. We are praying for the swift recovery of those injured, and we are deeply grateful to the brave first responders who rushed to the scene."
And then we also heard from, if we could pull this up, just from the Vice President of the United States, J.D. Vance, also speaking out on X this morning too as well. And this was in response to Department of Homeland Security Kristi Noem's tweet. He says, quote, "The obsessive attack on law enforcement, particularly ICE, must stop. I'm praying for everyone hurt in this attack and for their families." And this was, again, in response to Secretary Kristi Noem's tweet. She says, quote, "There was a shooting this morning at the Dallas ICE field office. Details are still emerging, but we can confirm that there were multiple injuries and fatalities. The shooter is deceased, again, by a self-inflicted gunshot wound."
We just got news from our CBS News assignment desk that we do have some more information confirmed for you as we do await this press conference. 2 people have now died from this ICE facility shooting. They are describing it as the shots were fired, quote, "indiscriminately." Again, no officers injured. That is the latest information from our CBS News desk. 2 dead in the Texas ICE facility shooting, specifically in Dallas, that fired the shots indiscriminately, which would again pull the focus out more instead of these individuals being potentially targeted.
Right. So that was, we were told there were 3 victims in total. We're now learning and also confirming here at a CBS News Texas News desk that there's 2 victims that are now confirmed dead.
Yeah. In our statement, we want to go on to say, quote, "ICE confirms the reporting of CBS News Texas saying that 3 individuals were shot. 2 of them are dead. The agency says that the shooter was firing indiscriminately." I want to show you some scene video because I think it paints the picture of how rapidly and forcefully local law enforcement as well as federal and state law enforcement responded to the scene. This was around 6:45 this morning. Look at the sea of lights there. That is the response to this shooting. Again, Dallas police describing it as an assist officer call that they responded to, obviously that being elevated then to an active shooter threat. And then once they figured out that the shooter had died of a self-inflicted gunshot wound, the police response was tapered down once that scene was secure. So now we are dealing with the investigation stage. We're trying to figure out motive. We're trying to figure out what would cause somebody to want to promote this type of violence in Dallas.
Anytime that you see a number of law enforcement that has responded to a scene like this, you know that the magnitude of the impact of this situation is certainly extraordinary. We want to take you back to what our crews are seeing live there on the ground this morning. This is from the scene outside this Dallas ICE facility here. Again, we're seeing quite a number still of law enforcement vehicles and police cruisers that are still parked outside with those flashing lights there in the distance outside of this detention facility. And then we've also got a number of crews that are set up and getting ready to hear, hopefully from local officials, possibly even state or federal officials, about this incident, about the investigation, what they're learning, what they do know, and what they don't know as well.
Yeah, and I also want to just bring to your attention that statement that we got from ICE officials earlier that just came into our newsroom saying that the shots were fired indiscriminately. That was part of a larger release that was all detailing this shooting. Again, the biggest updates being that 2 people have now died from this shooting, 1 still in critical condition, and then the shooter, of course, also dead of that self-inflicted gunshot wound. Certainly, details are starting to come in. More of a picture is being painted as to how this all played out, and we're hoping that on the right-hand side of your screen there, where you see the press conference awaiting, we're hoping to get more details and context from Dallas police as well.
And again, we don't have any idea. Nothing has been confirmed to us about the suspected shooter's motive here in this case, or we don't really have any more information about the victims too as well. All that we can confirm is that this was in fact not a targeted attack on a specific group of people at this facility.
I want to read in full the statement from ICE that we just received to our CBS News desk. It says, quote, ICE and the Dallas police have secured the scene at our Dallas field office where a shooter opened fire at the facility this morning, firing indiscriminately at the building and those in the Sally Port. We can confirm that 3 individuals were shot. 2 are deceased. The shooter is also deceased by a self-inflicted gunshot wound. No ICE officers were physically hurt, and we are working alongside the FBI and local law enforcement. He goes on to say this isn't the first time this location has been targeted. Less than a month ago, a man walked in with what he claimed was a bomb. This violence must stop.
I mean, the staggering information obviously coming from the ICE facility too as well. We've heard from, again, a number of officials that have spoken out and have gone straight to X in order to make statements and just giving some reaction to the scene this morning. Earlier, that's obviously still active from what you could see there on the left-hand side of your screen. There are still law enforcement that is actively on the scene conducting their investigation, whether or not it's raining.
Yeah, if we can we pull up Governor Greg Abbott's post on X that he posted earlier this morning, because I think the statement that we just received from ICE kind of pulls into contrast what he said earlier this morning. Earlier this morning, Governor Abbott referring to this shooting as a, quote, assassination. But again, the statement that we just got from ICE describes it as shots were fired indiscriminately at the building and towards those in the Sally Port, which would, again, lead to the thought that there was not a specific target in this situation. Governor Greg Abbott, you're seeing his post there. I'll read it in full for you. Texas fully supports ICE. Both the Texas Department of Public Safety and the Texas National Guard work closely with ICE. This assassination will not slow our arrest, detention, and deportation of illegal immigrants. We will work with ICE and the Dallas Police Department to get to the bottom of the assassin's motive. We will offer ICE additional support to assist their operations.
And again, that tweet coming from Governor Greg Abbott, he just pushed that out probably about 20 to 30 minutes ago. It was the first time that we had heard a response from him so far this morning regarding the situation.